Yeah. Y'all sit. Y'all sit, man. I'll be making more transformations than motherfucker Optimus Prime, but god damn it, the shit is real. The shit is real, man. I officially had to take it on. I decided that I had to brace who I am on this YouTube shit. I hear a lot of people talking about who they are, who they claim to be on this YouTube shit. But I realized I had to truly embrace who I am on this YouTube shit. Man, I'm the NBBC Grim Reaper, man. I be smacking and slaying everything. I am death in the flesh. It is two hands. Motherfucking AKA Black Dynamite, AKA the NBBC Grim Reaper. Salute to all the real ones in the chat. Oh, I see y'all in here, man. And y'all ready to turn all the way the fuck up with me, man. So let's get to it, man. We go short with these motherfucking shout outs, though. Man, salute to my nigga LeRod. Salute. Lisa Bales, Queen. Salute. Catacor. What's up, Queen? Who else we got in here? James Jameson. Salute. Davey. Salute. Man, yeah, I'm always busy, man. But look, though, man, I'm just increasing the work rate a little bit, man. I was on here earlier today, but I figured, fuck it, man. We might as well turn up for one more. I seen everybody talking about all the chaos and shit in the world, but really, I ain't really trying to talk about none of that. I'm not really trying to talk about none of that. Not while I got cinnamon toast weed edibles in front of me, rolled up weed, smokable weed, eatable weed, shit. I got weed and wax, weed butter. I ain't really trying to go there, but you know, prayers to, you know what I'm saying, the victims, you know what I mean? We shall overcome. But anyway, man, it's all about boxing business. It's all about boxing bullshit. And you know, all of the blurred lines in between, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to, you know what I mean, keep it there. I want to keep it there. I wanted to keep it boxing, keep it sweet science, and all of that good shit, man. So, you know, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about. Had a few characters come through earlier today, light the shit up. You know, the earlier live stream was lit. So, you know what I mean? Let's make the live stream equally as lit. If anybody can keep that TNT on the live stream, y'all know who's going to do it. Y'all know who's going to do it. Fernie Forbes, salute. Band-Aid Perilous, salute. Miguel, salute. Man, OG Kush, that's what it is. Davey, salute. I got all types of weed. Right now, as of right now, yeah, wedding cake is where it's at. As of right now, though, I'm eating the weed. I'm eating it. Tastes good, too. Like, look, right? I laid out like 5 cinnamon toast snacks on the table earlier today, right? I was just hoping one of these non-smoking, high-strung motherfuckers in my family picked one up off the table and ate one. Because guess what? Oh, yeah. I was going to be responsible for you being high for the first time in your life because you need to calm your silly ass down. But that's another story of my sinister life. Anyway, so the reason why we were all here, the reason why we are all gathered here today is to talk about the state of boxing. Talk about the state of boxing for all of you guys. How you guys feel about the state of boxing. And should there be changes? Because one thing that I've recognized that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of unhappy boxing fans all across the world. I see you guys, you know, digesting what you're getting. Even if it goes down kind of sour, you still take it in. But the fact still remains, boxing fans are left wanting more. You're not getting anything of what you want, and what you want, you really don't wish you were getting. Bunch of lopsided opposition. Bunch of guys getting paid considerably well. But if you ask them, they don't get paid well enough. Shit, you ask me, I don't get fucking paid well enough. Fact still remains, are boxers today overpaid? Are they overworked? Are they underworked and overpaid is the question. Because I've come to the realization that these boxers are eating pretty damn well for taking on such light opposition. And in a time like this, where COVID-19 is going on and we're not getting any boxing, and you have these boxers saying, nah, they're not willing to fight. Some of your favorite fighters are saying, nah, they're not willing to fight. So it makes you take a look closer at all of these things. Steve Kimmett put out an article about this situation. And I mean, for me, I've always felt as though, I'm not opposed to boxers getting paid well and living good. Hey, if that's how you getting it right now, I'm not hating on your steez, homie. Like, if that's how you eating right now, cool. But there are a lot of boxers in the world that do get overpaid not to perform. And there's one that comes to the top of my mind. And I would like everyone or anyone, if you feel that way, type in the first boxer that comes to your mind when it comes to them being overpaid and not having to put forth any type of real effort to fight any type of real opposition that could stop them from receiving that champion's pay. There's one. So if you feel like there's that one, if you feel like there's a fighter that gets overpaid and they don't perform and you don't get any of the fights you feel like you're supposed to get out of that individual, and you like them or you dislike them or you pay close attention to their career, point them out. You can go ahead and say that individual. The first fighter that comes to my mind, and this is no attack against him, but it's just the first fighter that comes to my mind. That would be 160's Jamal Charlo. Samuel Shaw, salute, my G. Craig Joyner, salute. Craig Joyner, the NBBC, to answer your question, since I just seen it as I looked up. We'll pause on the conversation for a second. The NBBC is the non-biased boxing community. And, that's what they call it. But I would like to consider it the non-bitch boy community. The non-bitch boy boxing community. Basically, it's just a bunch of brothers who believe in calling it straight down the middle, being 50-50 with the fight game. Basically, not praising one fighter and shitting on another fighter, not ignoring any fighter's accomplishments. We're going to call it all the way down the middle. If they ducking, they ducking. Fuck it. If Loma, Manny Pacquiao, anybody was ducking, nobody is fucking free from the smoke, basically. That's basically what the NBBC entails, basically. In a nutshell, we're just people who believe in calling it down the middle and putting the stop to false narratives. So LaRon puts in, so LaRon, first name comes to LaRon's mind. It's Tank, absolutely. James Jameson says the PBC in a whole. Absolutely. Miguel Moica says Wilder. And speaking on Wilder, and him bringing that name up, Wilder is the prime example of a guy who has fought he fought 32 times in his career. And that 32 times in his career, he had only fought 100 plus ranked. He only fought guys that were ranked above 100. When it got time for Wilder to fight his first ranked opponent, which was Bermane Stiverne after Jason Gavin, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that was his first ranked opponent, and Bermane Stiverne was trash. So continuing on after that, he kicked on tomato can after tomato can. His purses started to increase. Especially when he started piggybacking off Anthony Joshua's name. This man has made probably $70 million. This man has made probably $70 million, and he's done really absolutely nothing to deserve it. And to cap off his biggest payday, at least it came with an ass whooping on top of it. So at least we can be happy about that shit. At least his last payday came with an ass whooping on top of it. Whoosh, whoosh. He needs some meal. You know what I mean? It is a problem. Exactly, Sam Greer. It wasn't even a real one, but I just have to say for what it is because that's what it was on paper, unfortunately. Jamal doesn't fight. Jamal is the first one that comes to my mind because I have to say this about Jamal. Jamal received his belt from the great Saul Canelo Alvarez. I'm a big fan of Canelo. We all know this. I'm going to do a video on Canelo here soon because I don't like a lot of shit people are saying about him, and I never really talk about Canelo. I only talked about Canelo once, and that was just to combat all of these fucking issues about the PED use and stuff like that, and how people just act like it's just him, like Floyd and everybody else is exempt. Floyd even got caught with an IV issue. Manny Pacquiao, people have been suspect of him for several fucking years for several fucking reasons, but that's another story for another day. Basically, what I'm saying is, okay, Jamal got his belt from Canelo. I don't want to veer too far left with you guys. So Jamal got his belt from Canelo based on the Canelo taking a franchise, this phantom franchise belt that we have no idea what it looks like. We've never seen it. It's never come out to play. We've never seen it wrapped around his waist. We have no idea what this thing looks like. But regardless of all of that, we know Canelo's accomplishments. We know what Canelo has been doing, and the shit. Canelo has been a unified title holder since the age he started unifying titles at the age of 22, 23. Like, come on, like Floyd is a unified fucking champion at 22 or 23 years old. I mean, this guy's different. But speaking on Jamal Charlo, he just received his belt because he wanted to be a franchise champion, and ever since he received that belt, coming from an interim champion to a WBC champion, he has fought two guys that were two weight classes smaller than him. Two of them. Not one, but two. Dennis Hogan, he fought Dennis Hogan and he fought Brandon Adams. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe those were his last two fights. Dennis Hogan and Brandon Adams. And both Dennis Hogan and Brandon Adams definitely was a welterweight. And Dennis Hogan was a junior middleweight, man. Dennis Hogan was a junior middleweight who just came off of fucking a really sketchy decision when he truly, in my eyes, beat Jaime Munguia for the 154 WBA title. Now, these are the situations that we have to deal with in the boxing world that are becoming that are being served up and thrown up in front of our face as an entree that these motherfuckers act like we enjoy. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. So when we have a situation like this right now with COVID-19 and everything, where everybody is stuck at home and can't, and boxers saying they don't want to fight because they want the gate. They want the gate that is coming in. I'm sorry, but shit, for the gates that were coming in and the fights that you guys were putting on, shit, you wasn't even doing anything for the fans to be proud of. So you should want to fight for your fucking fans right now, considering that you don't do anything for them. Shit, when fans are available to be appreciated when they're in the arena, that's absolutely fucking despicable. This sport, it is so much trickery in this sport, but it ain't even really trickery. It's just fucking some Debo. It's Debo business tactics. Like, they just freaking bully you and throw these fighters in the ring with whoever, knowing they have no chance whatsoever. Like, when you got fights on during the week and stuff like that, and they show those, those B-list, C-list fights, you might get one good fight at the end of the night of a guy that, that was a notable that you recognize. They match made guys who were supposed to be against each other. So you would get a good fight out of that. You wouldn't get a lopsided fight. So people at the end of the night, they felt as though they went to bed good with what they were watching. Now you don't get that. You're really paying money for fights. PBC makes you pay money for fights to watch fighters that really don't even deserve to be on pay-per-view, fighters that you really don't even want to pay no attention to. And when you have to pay attention to them, what are you paying attention to? Come on, man. So I would have to say, I truly think that boxing deserves a fucking audit. An audit in the sense of, all right, let's lay these individual fighters, let's lay these fighters' incomes on the table. We know who makes what around here. We know who does what in this industry. We know who does what in this game. Outside of, a 5-year-old can see this. There are only truly 3 fighters that move something. We know who they are. So outside of that, all those other fighters, let's be serious here. Let's look at how many seats they're filling up in arenas. Let's look at how much they're getting paid for it. Let's look at who they're fighting and everything like that. And then truly ask yourself, does this person really deserve this purse? Or because I thought in boxing, your purses definitely always elevate when you become a champion. There's no doubt about that. Of course, you're supposed to get a pay bump, but when becoming a champion, shit, you're supposed to fight fucking ranked guys, correct? Now I have a problem. George Salute, appreciate you on the super chat, brother. Now I have a problem, right? I don't know if you guys watched it, but I was watching the interview just the other day. Now you got guys like Dillian White. Dillian White will sell out the O2 every fucking fight. Every fight. You got a guy who's put his life on the line time and time again. Since since Anthony Joshua, Robert Helenius, you fucking name them. Joseph Parker, Oscar Rivas, shit, he's about to do it again with Alexander Povetkin. Shit, I don't give a fuck what you guys say. He put his life on the line against Marty Iswak. Like, this guy's went out. Now, you got a guy who goes out, proves himself time and time again, who fills up the seats in the O2, who goes out, knocks out your Joseph Parker, gets in fights that really arguably swing to where you don't even know if he's going to win and come out of the fight, puts his shit on the line time and time again, who's been getting shucked and jived since 2017. And he does numbers. He's been getting shucked and jived since 2017. Now, in the interview, they do an interview trying to figure out what's going on with Dillian White. Why hasn't Dillian White gotten his mandatory shot? When is Dillian White going to get his mandatory shot? So this is what the WBC president says. Mauricio Suleiman. This is what he says out of his fucking mouth. Because you are number one in the WBC rankings. Now, this is a conversation we're about to go deep into. Because you are number one in the WBC rankings, it doesn't fucking make you a mandatory. I'll repeat it again. If you are number one in the WBC, absolutely, James Jameson, Dillian White is a pay-per-view fighter that does numbers, and there are plenty of fighters all across America, all across the world that do not do numbers. Absolutely. Because this is the thing here. We have to pay attention to the social injustices that are done to our fellow boxing brothers, man. And I don't think we don't take enough time to shine the light on things that are going on to guys like Dillian White, because if it can happen to Dillian White and Dillian White's status in boxing, and considering he is a heavyweight boxer, it can happen to anyone. Now, Mauricio Suleiman straight says to the whole fucking world, if you are number one, it doesn't necessarily make you a mandatory. Now, how the fuck is that? So basically, this is what I'm saying to you guys. What is the point of a ranking system? Now, I'm not speaking for the WBO. I'm not speaking for the WBA. I'm not speaking for the IBF. I'm not speaking for none of those motherfuckers. But all of them. But it matters to all of them. But since we're speaking on the WBC, so if you're Yadenius Ugas, obviously it doesn't matter. When fucking Yadenius Ugas just fought a fucking title eliminator with Omar Figueroa and y'all fucked him, moved him straight out of the number one spot for 06 feet. I repeat that again. They just completely moved Yadenius Ugas out of his number one spot after completely demolishing Omar Figueroa, an undefeated fighter. Demolished him. And a decent fighter at that. Demolished him. Completely moved him out of the number one rankings, and he fought a title eliminator. So this is my question. If you're not considered the mandatory, if you're number one, and number one doesn't make you a mandatory in the fucking rankings, my question to you is this. What the fuck is the point of a goddamn ranking system? Why the fuck do you climb through the ranking system? Why do you go through all of this shit with sanctioning bodies? Why do you pay these motherfuckers? Why do you even come out and wait for them? Why do you even go through the process of even having to worry about getting outbid from a network and dealing with these motherfuckers? Why do you even have to? What's the point of even hosting their belt? What is the point of a ranking system if you're number one and that does not make you a mandatory? So basically what you're saying is to fit your fucking agenda, at any given time. The number one doesn't make you officially a mandatory because you wanted to fit whatever your fucking pussy ass, fucking fat, fucking tamale belly eating ass agenda. That's not going to cut it for me. That shouldn't cut it for you. That's not going to cut it for us, and it's not going to cut it for boxing. This is why I continuously say we have to fucking got to cut the cancer out of boxing with a goddamn corn husker. Yeah, I went that far. There are so many injustices. Like shit, Dillian White is at the top of the list. And when we look back on history and we look at the things that were done to a fighter like Dillian White, who doesn't get the appreciation in the States. Come on. He don't even get the appreciation in the States for fighting all of the best fighters who arguably having, if not the best, I would consider he's behind Anthony Joshua. But if not having the best resume in the fucking heavyweight division. And he gets screwed time and time again. Eugenio Ugas, he's over at the PBC. They say Terrence Crawford should have signed his life with the PBC. Signed his life away. He gets screwed. So if you sign to the PBC and they're saying they'll move you out of a fucking title eliminator spot, you won't get a title spot. You haven't got your title shot, and you rightfully earned it. Dillian White has been getting screwed since 2017. Rankings don't matter. If you're number one, that doesn't make you a mandatory. What are we doing? Somebody tell me, what are we doing right now? Because I swear to God, I'm getting fucked with 2 dildos with no Vaseline right now, and I'm really not liking the feeling. Ouch, ouch. What is going on? Are we going to ignore the fact that Tyson Fury was out for 2 years and everybody is over the moon happy right now with the fact that he is champion? And I, for one, am one of those people that are over the moon happy with the fact that he is champion, because I have campaigned this moniker since the beginning of fucking time, since I knew this fight was happening. The reign is soon over. I am happy that Deontay Wilder's reign is over, but I am not going to be dismissive of the fact that I've brought up time and time again that they've tried to fuck this man from his urine samples, that they tried to fuck this man from his mandatory position. They've tried to screw this man since he's been WBC Silver Champion. And I was under the impression if you were WBC Silver Champion, that automatically made you were pretty much the mandatory. If you weren't an interim champion, I thought the WBC Silver Champion meant you were that number one guy in the WBC. If you didn't have an interim in place, I thought that's what the Silver Champion entailed. I thought the diamond belt was supposedly to help you get the best. I believe the diamond belt was supposedly to help you to usher in that you were in line for a title shot or some shit like that. You're going to get a title shot. So that's what the diamond belt is for. The Demetrius belt is supposed to be for if you were a champion and say you leave the game for some reason, you get the title of Demetrius to come back and claim your championship throne. So my whole thing is this. These belts don't matter. They got 8 million of them. So basically you create a belt to fit your crooked narratives, just like this franchise belt. So think about it. From the diamond belt, from the silver belt, to the diamond belt, to the Demetrius belt, to the franchise belt, all of these belts, every single one of these belts have been put in place to fit his agenda at that time. I can't see it any other way. Can you guys? I can't. It is look, I'm losing brain cells by the minute of trying to have some type of ethical standpoint in dealing with the WBC and dealing with boxing in a whole, and in dealing with what's happening to Dillian White and Eugenio Ugas, what's happening with these fighters. Then you look across the board and all of these other fighters are getting overpaid. When you got Dillian White, who is actually filling up arenas, busting his ass, only fighting the top guys around him and shit, just to make his fucking presence felt, to let it be known that he deserves his spot here as fucking in the top 3 rankings and should be a fucking champion. This guy, if he's not a champion, it should be him going in the ring and losing it. But that should be at his own discretion in having the chance to fight for a title. And I'm fully aware of the fact that he had the chance to fight Anthony Joshua again and he turned it down because he didn't like the numbers. But it comes to a point to where you must stand for something or you fall for fucking anything. So I feel as though that's where the point where Dillian White is at. And Dillian White is in a very fickle position when it comes to Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn, to where it's like, should I take what I'm given, lose to Anthony Joshua and pretty much lose my bargaining chip? Or should I just fucking should I stand firm and stand my fucking ground and fight for what's mine? And he's in that position to where, yeah, he's dug in so damn deep. He's dug in so damn deep. You know he wants to be like fuck Mauricio. You know he wants to be like fuck Mauricio. But he really can't. I mean, shit, his patience has brought him this far. His fist have brought him this far. We're really right on the cusp of 2021. We're in the summer now. So what? We're basically in our third fucking season. No, we're in our second season. Fall and winter. So we're in our second season. Moving forward, this guy is dug in so far deep that he really can't say nothing. But you know it should be two middle fingers up. Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck them motherfuckers. Fuck them motherfuckers. Like real rap. Come on, man. Shit making my voice squeak. I'm so pissed off about it. So I say to you, where do we draw the line to where we chastise, where we got on one side, we got one side of fans chastising the individual like Dillian White, who these are the individuals that are unheralded in boxing. Unheralded. And that is a very good word. And it's a very strong word to speak on individuals like your Denis Ugas, to speak on individuals like such a great warrior as Dillian White, interim champion. I would love to say that he's a champion. I would truly love to say that he's a champion because when I look around, I don't see that many motherfuckers putting in the goddamn work. I see him putting in the work. Man, look, y'all, they all messy. All of those sanctioning bodies are messy. And once again, I say, if you being number one doesn't make you the mandatory, then what is the point of a sanctioning body? Do y'all hear this shit? James Jameson, I feel you. Like I said, I'm high on Tyson Fury, but we cannot ignore the fact that Tyson Fury just got ushered in the ranking after fighting a Francisco Payaneta or fighting a Sefer Safari, fighting a Tom Schwartz, fighting a Otto Wallin. When Tyson Fury came back like, yo, he shouldn't have got pushed before Dillian White. Mandatory status issue for him to fight Dillian White. He does on his discretion, considering he brought it up. Do you see how fast that the WBC moved every time Tyson Fury said he would do something? But when it came to Dillian White, they did absolutely nothing. When Tyson Fury said diamond belt, I'll fight Dillian White if the diamond belt's on the line, Dillian White immediately said, I'll do it. They threw that mandatory out there. What did Tyson Fury do? He backed away from it. Tyson Fury says a lot of things that he doesn't necessarily mean. But Tyson Fury is fully aware that fucking Dillian White is being a dick. He don't give a fuck about that. Because Tyson Fury is worried about Tyson Fury. As people should be worried about themselves. But at the same time, I'm just saying, this could be you. So in Tyson Fury's case, Tyson Fury just came in the game and got what he wanted. And all of that segues from all of the agendas surrounded by Deontay Wilder and keeping fucking Dillian White away from Deontay Wilder. So if it made Dillian White happy when they heard Tyson Fury say something about the diamond belt, and for them to go ahead and implement that plan, they would do it. Because why? Because they keeping Dillian White away from Deontay Wilder. The protection plan was so fucking serious. That shit was guarded like the fucking Denver International Airport. They guarded and protected that motherfucker like the Denver International Airport. It makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. Like, you got, like, man, every man, look. Yes, they are paid too much. I'll be the first one to say it. They're paid too much because they don't do half the shit They don't do half the shit the other guys that are doing, the other guys that are fighting the tough opposition, the other guys that are having to go to war with these sanctioning bodies time and time again, who are getting thrown through the loop. And these guys are getting escaped by with this little pansy ass shit they're doing. Nah. There's got to be a change, because it comes to a point to where we are getting, they blatantly just pulling the crooked shit right in our face. How can you say that? Jay Bitkin, what's good, homie? How can you say that? Let me go ahead and copy this fucking link, man. I'm highly upset. So this is the deal with me, man. This is the deal with me. This is truly the deal with me, right? I feel like, yo, we got to start speaking up, bro. Like we really have to start speaking up. And I'm talking about, it comes to a point to where we're recognizing injustice all across the board in boxing, right? They're telling us straight to our faces, and they feel as though we're not doing any fucking thing about it, man. Anything about it. How is it that you can't tell me there are over about 10 to 15 double standards in the boxing world that you can't think of off of the top of your head? Because if I'm speaking on Terrence Crawford right now, I'm speaking on Yadenia Shugai, so I'm speaking on individuals in different with different promotional outfits. If I speak on Demetrius Andrade, if I speak on any of these individuals, all I'm saying, Demetrius Andrade, he puts himself in a lot of fucked up situations because he ain't taking on certain shit. But what I'm saying is this, though. So basically, it doesn't matter if you sign to him, you're not going to get the fight. So that's speaking in Bud Crawford's sense. You saw they tried to pull that same move with Dillian White as well. There's a pattern here. There's a fucking pattern. Look at the tactics. We have to look at the tactics here. The tactics in the history shows us that they're going to do what the fuck they want to do. They're going to move how the fuck they want to move. And quite frankly, the fans getting what they want isn't at the top of their list. It's not at the top of their list to make you a priority to where, you know, you matter enough to where you're going to see a good fight. What it is all smoke and mirrors. This thing right here is one big shot of the blue pill. There's a reason why I put that scene from The Matrix in the front of all of my videos. Because this is a fucking projected Twilight Zone that we are living in. We're treated as if we are so naive and we are so blind to all of the fucking bullshit, the hypocrisy, all of the bullshit that happens in this sport. They treat us like we are fucking so stupid, and I'm sick of it. I'm at the point to where I'm pissed. I'm at my wit's end. Where I'm watching these pussy ass motherfuckers flaws, spend all of this money, ride Ferrari, Lamborghini, live in big ass houses, do et cetera, et cetera. Then at the same time, when we're in a situation talking about something, you don't want to fight because you demanding this and that. Well, when the public was available, shit, you wasn't fighting nobody any goddamn way. Fight another fucking tomato can and get paid for it. That's what you've been doing your whole fucking career. Make the goddamn people happy. You're not comfortable with fucking doing it when fans are allowed. Boxing wasn't appreciated when it was available. It ain't even that now, motherfucker. And it just shows you how the fighters feel because they don't appreciate it now. And the ones that really want to fight, they willing to get busy. Look at who Dillian White is fighting right now. Why there ain't no fans. That shit don't register with nothing. As an American boxing fan, as an American boxing fan, and a person who talks on boxing from America, I am fucking disgusted. I'm disgusted. Because every time I turn around, I see the same old bullshit. I see the same old types of fight. I hear the same old type of excuses. I hear the same old fans fucking protecting the same old fighters with the same old type of excuses for real. Errol Spencer's going to be protected with whatever fucking piece of shit that they put in the fucking PBC roster. They're gonna push him in front of every fucking news article or whatever to protect Errol Spence from getting in a real fight. They're gonna throw Sean Porter. They're gonna throw Sean Porter on every gauntlet with every one of their fighters to try to boost their fighters up to make them look like they had a good fight. They're gonna let fucking Jamal Charlo knock over every goddamn tomato can from fucking here all the way to goddamn Italy, bro. He gonna be knocking over tomato cans, man. That motherfucker got more tomato sauce in this house than goddamn Pregu. I'm fed up, bro. I'm fed up to my wits end. I'm seriously about to lose it, man. Because I thought, I really thought there, you know, the one boxer over here that wants to fight everybody can't get nobody. So he goes in there and knocks over every fucking thing that they make available to him. And everybody sit over there and say he ain't shit, he ain't did nothing, he ain't fought nobody, but he an undisputed champ. Oh my God, man. What is this shit, bro? So are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for a whole bunch of fucking finger fucking from the boxing organizations? Because to be perfectly honest, who's to say that Dillian White's 2021 spot is safe? Who's to say that? Who's to say that? Is there, like let's be serious here, y'all. Like Sam Greer, salute. Miguel Moica, salute. Matthew Lewis, salute. Bernie Forbes, salute. Jeff Lucietta, salute. All of y'all, I'm asking y'all straight up, bro. Like, is Dillian White, like, can we really look at Dillian White's 2021 mandatory position like it's safe? Because history has shown us that time and time again, the same shit keeps happening. So when 2021 comes up, do y'all want undisputed? Or do y'all want to see Dillian White actually get his fucking shot? That's the question I want to ask y'all. And I'm asking y'all truthfully. And it ain't gonna affect me in no way if you feel opposed to it. Because I'm gonna give you my answer because I'm on the fence. But now, because conversations are coming up about boxers being overpaid, conversations are coming up about boxers not fighting no real opposition. Should we change it? You know, boxing has to be knocked down. The pyramid schemes of boxing has to be knocked down. We need to build the foundation from the ground up, start over, throw all of the bullshit out the fucking house, throw it out the windows, throw it out of any fucking open door, open area you can see. Anything that fucking resonates from the old way of doing things in boxing, we have to change it. So, do you want to see Dillian White or do you want to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury for undisputed right now? If 2021 comes up, knowing that man has his mandatory position. Honestly, as a boxing fan, I'd be happy to say, yo, okay, Dillian White, I'll be happy to see undisputed between two UK giants like Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Everybody know I would be highly excited about that. But at the same time, right now, I feel as though I got a week worth of fucking every fucking Dillian White title that comes up, I gotta fucking do a video on it. I feel like, when 2021 comes up, I feel like when February rolls around, when January rolls around in fucking 2020, when December rolls around in 2020, I need to make sure my exit videos all motherfucking are well in context with what's going on with Dillian White, what's going on with Dillian White's mandatory position, and Dillian White should be getting this shot, and I'm gonna have to be the one to have to stand up on my channel and fight for that. I'm gonna have to fight for that more than I fight for undisputed. I know that shit might sound crazy to y'all, but look, man, at the end of the day, man, boxing has been the most crooked fucking shit in the world. And I feel like with social media, I feel like with these YouTube boxing platforms that are getting strong, that are very much heard from all of the guys, because listen, I have fucking some of the fans of my channel are some of the big people in the boxing world that I fucking connect with. We have a voice. We have a platform. I have you guys. That's bigger than anything in the fucking world. I have y'all. I have you guys to talk my shit. When I speak my truth, I have you guys that feel the way I feel. It's a collective. It's a collective of frustrations. It's a collective of joys. It's a collective of wanting change. It's not just my voice. My voice might be the one that echoes. My voice might be heard, but it echoes because of y'all. Because of y'all. So with that being said, I'm saying this. I'm saying I have to put Undisputed on the back burner for what's right. Not that I'm putting Undisputed on the back burner. I don't want y'all to get that twisted. I want you to understand fully what I'm saying here. For the injustices done to Dillian White, for the injustices done to you guys, for the injustices done for all of the individuals that want to fight guys, that are in an opposing promotional outfit. My voice has to be 10 times louder for that. If God blessed me with this ability to be able to talk to you guys for a fucking hour without a fumble, without any piece of paper in front of me, without having to record or write anything down. Every video that I've ever recorded, that I've ever edited, I've never wrote anything down. It's all came off the top of my head. Because of why? It's come from my heart. It's the truth. It's passion. It's what I feel. I don't have to write down my passion. It spills over from my heart. So with that said, when injustice is being done to individuals, that is a passionate topic for me. That is something that I should highlight. It's something that I should point out. And speaking for an individual like Dillian White that's going through a situation like this, when I'm speaking on Undisputed and wanting it for Anthony Joshua, wanting it for Tyson Fury or whatever, I want it just as much for Dillian White, because if I look at his journey, if I look at the travels that he's had to go to get here, the long road that he's had to travel, man, the nigga getting fucked over. Carlos Rosado, salute. He's getting all the way fucked over. So with that being said, I feel as though my channel gets bigger by the fucking day. Yeah, we hot. We all the way lit. We went from doing fucking 50 views. Last year we went from getting maybe 50 views to 200 views. Those who've been with me, rocking with me, y'all know what time it is. But y'all seen something in me in this YouTube shit that I couldn't see in my own self. So with that being said, y'all make this motherfucker, man. So when it comes to box, and this is all a microcosm. We're a microcosm. This YTBC is all a microcosm. Of what? Of boxing. It's all a microcosm of fucking boxing. So if that's the case, if all this came from fucking boxing, and I don't want fucking more for boxing, that means, guess what? I'm going to use my platform to speak up for what the fuck is going on here, man. And what the fuck is going on here, man, is we need us to change it. Maybe it might strike a domino effect in the boxing community. We might be like, hey, motherfuckers might look at shit like, hey, you know what? We need to switch this shit up. We might need to change it a little bit. And it ain't going to come off like that. It's going to come off the way that maybe Boone feels. It might come off the way that maybe Ring IQ feels. It might come off the way that maybe Mark feels. Unrivaled. It might come off the way Andrew Tucker's world feels. Counterpunch boxing. Fucking T-Street controversy. It might come off, it's all going to come off differently for their tongues, but if you're looking at the situation in a whole, if people are talking about it, if it's a chain effect, and it creates a domino effect, and eventually where motherfuckers are going to start speaking, then y'all motherfuckers is going to turn up. Because we got y'all, and y'all come in the thousands, and then y'all flood to Twitter, y'all flood to Facebook, and all of this shit translate to where? It translates to fucking news. And it's direct. The beautiful thing about Twitter is it's direct. I can smack any star, I can smack any fucking sports guy, I can smack any person in any position of power in face with my truth. Whether they choose to respond about it and look at me like a peon or whatever because of the situation, wherever their status is, that's on them. But they still see what the fuck I write. Just like Mauricio Suleiman. See, I think we've forgotten that fast because of the interim title situation. That Mauricio Suleiman was sitting up there, he was on fucking Twitter crying about, the way people were talking about him and treating him and shit, and the treatment that his family was getting, his daughters, et cetera, behind this Dillian White stuff, and acting like he was threatening like he was going to do something to Dillian White. Nah, fuck all of that. Fuck all of that. And we took our foot off the gas when what? Dillian White got an interim fucking title. Nah. We should have kept our foot on Mauricio Suleiman's neck. Because what does that say? That says that all of the fucking power is vested with the people, man. Boxing does not move without us. You can have 10 of the biggest, stiffest idiots sitting in a fucking corner to corner to one another, fighting all goddamn night. If nobody's in there, nobody's paying attention to it, nobody's paying for it, it's rock'em sock'em idiots. Facts. So unless people are paying for this, unless people are entertaining themselves with this, like, bro, it don't matter. My whole thing is this, bro. We were on Mauricio Suleiman's neck. We were on his fucking neck. And then we got up off of it when he did a little something for Dillian White. And see, that's what the fuck Jeff Luce had a salute, bro. Richmond's Cali in the building. Look, man, and that's the problem, bro. We tend to, and the same thing with social injustice. Anytime, and this example I'll use. We were on the fucking verge of a revolution when George Bush Jr.'s second term. He had fucked up so much stuff in the economy, sent all of our fucking, had our family members overseas dying in the war that didn't make no fucking sense, of what we shouldn't have been fighting in this fucking corrupt, covert, fucking black ops fucking bullshit that they were fucking doing, and all of the stuff that they were setting up to usher in whatever plans they were doing during the times of 9/11 sparked off all of that shit. To make a long story short, I'm gonna say this. We were on the verge of a revolution through, you know what I mean, reparations are overdue, through the crisis, the bullshit he put us in, the debts, the financial doomsday, the troops dying, all of this stuff. We were on the verge of a fucking revolution. And guess what? They threw a black face in front of a fucking podium with nice teeth, who could fucking speak eloquently, who was a little bit calmer and mild-mannered, and everybody kicked their feet up and fell the fuck back when they threw a black face in there. See, we have a tendency to fall back when we're about to make an impact on the world, when, you know what I mean, they throw us a little bone, or we see some little sign of fucking what we believe to be is change. Nah, that's just a way to get your foot off the gas. Same shit with this boxing shit. It's always a fucking agenda to try to take your foot off the gas. So if they can appease you in a little way by giving you a little something to make you feel like they are doing something to quiet down the dogs, they gonna do it. Because, we savages out here when it's shit that we don't like. And there are plenty of things that we don't like in boxing, but guess what? We hear one thing, or we hear Terrence Crawford say one thing, and we take our foot off the gas. No, we can't do that no more. We got to keep our foot all the way on it. And Dillian White, brother, it's your fucking time, man. It is your time. It's been his time. It's been his time. Your Dillians, you guys, it's your time. Terrence Crawford, it's your time. We can't have great fighters being plateaued, being stopped, being plighted, not being able to climb and reach the heights they would like to reach because other individuals who are holding belts, who don't possess the heart that they have, that aren't willing to fight, are holding it. That's a problem. That dude ain't no fucking champion. Get him up out of there. We need to change the boxing, bro. I fucking seriously think that we should try to figure out some fucking way that we have some fucking silent, like black ops kind of like forum that has to do with boxing. And, you know, that we fucking that people go in anonymously and they compose their thoughts that way, that other power figures in boxing can go in anonymously and compose their thoughts of what's going on, and pretty much spill the beans on what's really going on behind the scenes in boxing, et cetera, and say how they really feel. That way it gets out. Kind of like boxing needs its own fucking WikiLeaks, bro, because it's that crooked. What is the only thing that combats the world figureheads right now, that busts them in their head time and time again? Julian Assange's WikiLeaks. So boxing needs its own version of a WikiLeaks. I feel as though we need a black ops forum in boxing. So that gives a way so we can say guys like let's say, for instance, Terrence Crawford, or even Errol Spence, any one of those guys want to get in there and they want to speak on the PBC and say, hey, well, the reason this fight hasn't happened, and they could be speaking in third person and speaking on themselves about shit that goes on with them and say, hey, this is the reason why X, Y, and Z hasn't happened in boxing. You guys need to talk on this. We need people that, exactly, 4chan. Salute, don't ask me. So I'm all about, and I really want to know you guys' opinion on this. A Black Ops forum in boxing, a boxing forum where it's kind of like, we're anonymous. Boxing needs a WikiLeaks, bro. And how do we go about getting that? How do we do it? How do we get it up there? I'm not just talking out the side of my ass. This is something that I really want to do. How the fuck do we get it up there? How do we make it functional? How do we get it to move? And how do we make it a fucking driving force in boxing? That is something that, Mauricio Suleiman, that is something that the president of the WBO, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, is the president of any of these other sanctioning bodies, these other promoters, et cetera, they can't fucking fight. They can't fucking combat because it's all of anonymous posts. For real. Boxing needs to become anonymous in the sense of exposure. Exposure. We need to declassify the truth. It has been, it's gone on far too long, and I feel as though we already know this. We know this. Boxing is always going to be corrupt because it continuously shows us that time and time again. So if this is going to be the case, fuck it. Why not us get like, why can't boxing have its own Q for Quanon, or however you pronounce it? Why can't boxing have its own WikiLeaks? Why can't we have our own forum that could allow those powerful individuals in boxing to divulge information, and come up with a plan collectively and really start to shift shit that's going on in the sporting world. Because I'm telling you, that is the way you make people act. When exposure brings people to fucking action, bro. You tell me, when has an exposure brought a person to act in the right way? It's always been that way. Exposure will make a motherfucker, when you say jump, that motherfucker will say ha ha and hit his goddamn head on the ceiling. No trampoline needed. Freddie Moss, salute. I agree, Fernie Forbes. I like Dana White's business model, but I don't like the way that Dana White treats his fucking fighters, even though I do believe in his practice in a sense, because he has the best fight and the best and all of that. I do believe that, the UFC's brought up every other mixed martial arts competition around him. The Fertittas and Dana White have literally brought up all of the competition around him. They monopolized every fucking other mixed martial arts fucking group in the game except for Elite XC, I believe, is the only one to survive outside of the fucking UFC. Not Elite FC, the one championship. They're the only ones that survive outside of that, where they made the Demetrius, God damn it, I call him Demetrius Andre. Mighty Mouse. Demetrius, y'all know him. Demetrius Johnson. Fucking they moved him or whatever. So what I'm saying is, I believe in that practice, but I feel as though, there should be somewhere, the fighter should get paid a little bit better, because now him and John Jones are going through this little dispute. And this ain't the first time, it's kind of the millionth time I've heard that. But what I'm saying is, bro, I feel like something has to be done. So I'm thinking of something that is realistic, something that is grassrooted, something that we could truly build, that could really combat some of the things in sports. And the most power that you, believe it or not, there's so much power in spoken word, that put it in a fucking forum where you have, great boxers, you have retired boxers, you have fucking current boxers, you have current fucking promoters, even. You have fucking current shit. Plenty of people behind the scenes. Shit. That can literally reach out and just fucking talk. Who knows what fucking Michael Buffer is subjected to? Who knows what all of these guys are subjected to? The conversations they hear, the truth, what's really going on. But I'm just saying, I think it's to a point now that where the people have to know this information anonymously to get those figureheads in boxing to act the right way. Because at this point, I don't know any other way, but I know that will make these motherfuckers answer to some of the things that are going on in boxing. It's all Al Heyman's system of fighting bums and risking the big when the champ is old. That's what I think. That is a system that is in place, but I believe it goes further than that too. My bad, Jay Bicken. I'm too busy talking. I didn't even know you was backstage, brother. Salute. You on? Jay, you there? I got you on. Check if your mic on mute or something, bro. I don't know how long
Yo,
you was
you hear me?
backstage. I was running. Yeah, I can hear you, brother. What's good?
What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
No
How you
feedback
feeling this
issues?
evening, man? Nah, you good, bro. Go ahead. You on?
Yo, I'm talking to you through a PS3 mic, man.
Hey, that's fire, bro. It just shows you how fucking. It just shows you how far fucking technology has come to where we can still use PS3 technology.
Fuck, dude, it took me a couple minutes to figure this bitch out, get it set up, but it's working.
Hey, man, I'm glad you here, bro.
Hell yeah. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Just trying to figure out ways, talking to my people, man, talking to y'all to figure out some ways we can combat a lot of these issues that we have in the boxing world, man. I just feel like there's definitely an injustice done to guys like Dillian White, the guys like Yadinius, the guys like Terrence Crawford, who really want to fight the best, that can't get the fights, and I just think that something has to be done. So I was thinking like maybe boxing needs its own like version of a WikiLeaks, bro, like where boxers, promoters, et cetera, people can go in and really divulge information on boxing without it coming back to them anonymously. So that way it really gets out to the public. So the injustice of guys like Mauricio Suleiman, who can come out and say, if you're number one, it doesn't make you a mandatory. You can smash all of that stuff and force these people to act like something's got to give in boxing, bro.
Well, dude, no one's ever had to wait this long for it being a mandatory. Mandatory is technically in the rule book 180 days. That's six
Facts.
months. Six
Mm-hmm.
6 months is the longest period you can wait, and then you're facing fines or vacation issues. You're gonna be stripped. Like that's it. Maybe 9 months. They stretch it out. Like you go from the spring to the late fall, whatever. But Dylan White's been waiting like a year or two ago. It was 400, 500 days. It's gonna be 1,000 days. I'm looking at this bullshit article. By 2021, when they say Wilder's supposed to fight him, or when he finally gets his shot, 1,000 days will have passed since he gained mandatory status.
That's despicable, man. I've never. Have you ever in boxing seen any shit like this?
That's what I was saying. Nobody's had to wait this long ever. It's like they pushed him aside. Like, nah, we got a different narrative. We're gonna further for a little bit. Like, you ain't part of. We got our movie over here that we're building. Like, it sucks right now, but it's gonna get better. You're not gonna ruin it, bro.
Dude, and it's to the point to where it's like, man, it's like, okay, we're literally at the point where this guy's been waiting since fucking what? He's been waiting damn near three fucking years, dude. And it's to the point to where it's like, as a fan, it's like I know everybody like I was saying, I know everybody wants undisputed, but it's just like, okay, when we get up on 2021, it's like you have the opportunity for undisputed, and Dillian White's mandatory is February of 2021. It's like, what do you do? Do you root for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury's undisputed, or do you root for fucking Dillian White? My thing is, go ahead.
Dude, Fury done got all the glory. He done got all the shine. He done came back and became Jack Johnson and Ali. So I mean,
Hmm.
I'm for real. I love Fury, and I'll forever love Fury as a symbol of like the hope of mankind. Like at the brink of death, we'll find a way to come back. We'll find the way to come back. But Dillian White's like, what makes it more fucked up? Dillian White, Deontay Wilder don't even care about boxing, bro. Dillian White actually watches old school boxing. He loves old school boxing. Like, it's just his shit, man. Like, he's a student of the game to a point. Like, he's not like Tyson Fury, like a walking goddamn library and shit. But he's on his way. Dillian White's fucking solid, man. Like, he's a sturdy ass fucking solid fighter.
Yeah, man. It's like when you've watched, literally, if you look at Dillian White's last 3 or 4 fights, man, they were fucking barn burners, man. And he's always had to find a way to come through. Even when he's been on the brink of defeat, he's always had to find a way to come through, man. He bites down and he gets it done. So when you look at a guy who's been in this position time and time again, who's been in war on top of war on top of war, and he hasn't gotten rewarded one bit. But then you keep trying to throw him these side trinkets. And really, and I truly believe that they throw him these fucking belts. They throw him these belts not just for Dillian White, but really so for the fans not to jump on
Oh,
the
he has a belt
organization's
now.
ass. Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
he has a belt. That ain't
Hmm.
a fucking belt,
Right. It's just like, oh, everybody fall back. We gave him a fucking belt. Like, nah,
bro.
fuck that, dude.
He reminds me of like Razor Ruddock 2.0, like Razor Ruddock with a little bit of control. Like he ain't got
Wow.
no crazy shovel hook or nothing like that. Like
Hmm.
That was Razor shit. But I'm saying like Dillian goes after fools, man. Like he'll takes his time and set shit up a little bit, but like he's a juggernaut, bro. Like he uses his size and he's a savage. Like with
Facts,
age, he's
bro.
gotten a lot fucking better.
Honestly, bro, you want to know what's crazy, Jay? I really felt after watching the Oscar Rivas fight and watching the Marius Guac fight, I was like, yo, Dillian White probably has like the most consistent jab in heavyweight boxing, bro.
Big
Like,
arms, like big ass
mhm.
arms, son.
Like he goes to work, man. And considering that his learning curve is a lot steeper than a lot of the other heavyweights in the division because he wasn't boxing as long as them. He had to transition from one fighting style to another coming into boxing. And I attribute a lot of that to Mark Tibbs as well. He's an amazing coach. They go well together, like you know what I'm saying, like ham and cheese. But it's just like, man, Dillian White has been picking up so much. He's been picking up so much per fight, bro. Like, and the number one thing is, man, shooting that jab out there, bro. He sticks that jab out there 24/7. Really, he beat Oscar Rivas based off staying behind that jab.
Hell yeah. And he's goofy, man. He's got that silly personality to where he'll just flow his shit. Like,
Yeah, bro. I
uh,
think I think the biggest problem is they scared of an individual like Dylan White. You want to know why? Because as soon as you know what I'm saying, you get a belt on the Dylan White's waist, you got a real one. You got a real one with a belt wrapped around their waist. It's not gonna hold their tongue back. It's gonna speak their mind for real. I think they want champions that they can control, not necessarily champions that are of that, like that
always.
kind of that the real warriors mentality, man. They want these controllable, fucking soft-spoken champions, bro, that really don't have that thing. Really, basically, it boils down to that masculine gene, bro. That real warrior cutthroat gene. That yo, I stand for something. I'm not gonna fall in fucking line. Like I just think that they're just trying to keep Dillian White away from it, bro. Like what others? It just don't make no sense to me. What could be stopping it, bro? Because Dillian White was selling out arenas over at the O2 when the whole time fucking Deontay Wilder couldn't even get 3,000 fucking people in the Barclays Center, bro. And y'all protected Deontay Wilder from Dillian White. It should have been the other way around, considering your sanctioning fees are going to be a lot better with Dillian White. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Dude, he was like an arch nemesis for AJ. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he was his main, like, hardest challenge. And he was like a rival and shit. He was like Chisora to a couple of people. Chisora's everybody's goddamn rival. But
Yup,
he is a fucking
definitely,
real one. He's
bro.
a savage, man. I mean, Dillian White, he's the kind of dude you wish to see get a title shot. He's the kind of dude that always goes out there and does the same fucking. You can bet on him being him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And shout out to Sporting Icons, man, because I know that Sporting Icons guy, man, and he always speaks highly on Dillian White. And I just feel like at this point now, bro, I just feel like, it's upon other, content creators to speak up on Dillian White as well and the injustice that happened to Dillian White. Because really, bro, you're looking at a great hard-nosed fighter that goes out there and gives his all. I'm like, once again, bro, he's going out there and risking it all again. And this is a fucking fight once again that he could very much lose, bro. Like he's going out there fighting fucking Alexander Povetkin, bro. A seasoned fucking world champion with a devastating left hook, bro. And the thing about fucking Povetkin just came off of fighting Michael Hunter, bro, and really, in my opinion, beat him. Walked away with a draw in that fight, but in my opinion, he beat Michael Hunter. I felt like from round 4 and on, I felt like that was Povetkin's best work. He was coming on. And now he's going into a fight where he know he came off of a draw that he really won, so he had that confidence going in with Dillian White. So this is another dangerous fight he's getting into, bro. So it's just like, bro, like when I'm looking at this guy and I'm looking at all this stuff he's doing, Jay, I'm just like, bro, how can you not root for this guy? How can I not, take my platform and my channel and really look at it like and be objective and be like, you know what, man, I might have to put my undisputed talk on the back burner because this man really fucking deserves his shot, man. For real.
I mean, he is what Fury was on the comeback. I mean, he's the dude that all of a sudden, like, outshines everybody. I mean, there's really no other contenders. I mean, you could say that big fucking old Viking dude that just knocked out Babyface, Hellenius, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's a contender, but he's been around since Klitschko's era, man. Like, I looked him up. He's been in the game like 14 years or something like that. Besides Dillian White, what old ass what Pulev?
Yeah, man.
He hadn't really lost since Klitschko, though. I mean, you can say Pulev's still somewhat of a threat, but come on, man, Dillian White is it, and Usyk maybe.
Right, and it's like we still, the jury is still out on Usyk considering he only fought Chaz Witherspoon, and we're waiting for him to fight Chisora just to see where he's at in the heavyweight division. So it's like we can't even really rate Usyk right now until he has that fight with Chisora. And as far as the guy in the chat that says that True 2022, Price, Chisora, Joyce, and Allen all have more fans than Dillian White, dude, you are either freaking drunk, sipping some sauce, trolling, or just all around silly because David Price, Joe Joyce, freaking and Dave Allen, and all of those guys collectively don't have more fucking fans than Dillian White, bro. What are you talking about?
David Price?
Yeah, bro.
The fuck?
I don't know what type of juice he's sipping tonight, but damn, man, take another shot from fucking me because that shit must be hella strong. Keep sipping, bro, because you damn wrong if you think that David Price, Joe Joyce is fucking 35 right now, and they still consider this guy a prospect. Dave Allen, a fucking white rhino who's had time and time again to try to come back and make something of himself and constantly continues to keep getting knocked out. Then we got you talking about David Price here, who was, thought to be the golden boy at one time until he was realized to be the Glass Joe fucking UK and getting knocked out all the damn time. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking... Go ahead, Jay.
David Price, man. Come on, dog. He was a prospect from what? 4 or 5 years ago? Like Tyson's era before he got all fat and coked up and knocked out by... he got just not knocked out by Chisora, but he got knocked out on the way up by somebody, man. A power punch.
Yeah, he got... Who was it? Somebody in the chat. Who was it when David Price was on his rise on the come up, bro, and he was still undefeated and everybody was rooting for him? Who was the first person to knock out David Price?
Is a shorter dude and he did it with hooks. I can't remember.
Knocked his ass smooth out. Had the whole world shocked.
Maybe Sam Peter or something like that. I don't know.
I gotta look it up.
That shit is retarded, man. I don't know too much about Joe Joyce or Dave Allen. The fuck?
Joe Joyce is the same guy who was fighting, Alexander Usyk and the amateurs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Joe Joyce
he was a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight?
Yeah. When Joe Joyce fought Usyk and the amateurs, I believe they were fighting at what? What were they fighting at? Were they fighting at what weight were they fighting at? Somebody in the chat put that down if y'all remember what weight they were fighting at. I know it was in the WBSS, the smaller series they were doing at the time. I forgot what kg they were fighting at in that fight. But Joe Joyce is fucking old as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Right now they're trying to bring him along, and they're trying to bring him along what they feel as though in this prospect stage a little bit quicker by having him fight guys like Brian Jennings, by having him fight Bermain Severn. But he went out there and he made a bad show of himself. He went out there and made a bad show of himself, especially against Bermain Severn, by having to go, 5-6 rounds with this guy when you should have put him down fucking early, like Hergovich and the rest of these dudes do. Like, dude, you're going too many rounds with these dudes. Like, So it's just for me, like Joe Joyce isn't exciting. He comes on slow. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, this guy's 35 years old. He's still considered a prospect. Trying to fight Daniel Dubois right now, and you're talking about he's more popular than Dillian White, who's selling out the fucking O2, talking about he got more fans than him. True 2022. I don't know what the fuck. He must be a big David Price fan or something. But nah, bro.
You know, only fucking one.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, David Price.
I'm like, man, give
If
it
I
a
didn't,
fucking
if I
rest
didn't,
here.
if I didn't look Tyson Fury up extensively and just get caught up in that British like line of boxers like David
Mm-hmm.
Hay and Tony Bellew and all them other ones, like I wouldn't even know who the fuck David Price is. Man, come on.
Like, and see, I've been up on UK boxing. Like now, I've been paying more attention to it because during the time, America was going this downturn with their fighters. The UK always kept a love, and they heartbeat. Kept their finger on the pulse. Of boxing.
Right.
They had the competitive fights. That were going on. America just wasn't really putting them on. So it's kind of like now it's just like, man, with UK boxing and stuff like that, it's like you got to pay super close attention to it because these are the guys that are putting in work. Really, honestly, I feel like the competitive drive in the world right now, based around boxing, is based off of the momentum of the UK, for real. Because like these dudes they having the best fights, they putting on the best wars, they coming over to America, they whooping up on the American heavyweights' asses. The Americans is coming over in the World Boxing Super Series, and Josh Taylor whooping up on their ass. Like it's like,
Who's the American champions again?
shit, man.
Like
Shit.
you
Let
got,
me.
I mean, what's his name? Spence, Errol
You got
Spence.
you got Errol Spence at 147. He holds two belts. Um, shit, you can't consider Manny Pacquiao an American champion. He's
Uh,
from the fucking Philippines. You got Terrence Crawford holding
yeah,
the belt at
Crawford.
147. Then you got what? You got Josh Taylor at shit. He ain't American. He holding most of the belts at 140, and Jose Ramirez holds the other two. So you can't consider him American. Um,
The lighter weights are always going to be Mexicans. The lighter weight champs
yeah,
always got
120.
Spanish descent.
Shit. 126 is Shakur Stevenson. What is it? 126 is Shakur Stevenson, Josh Warrington. Shakur Stevenson, Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington holds the IBF. Shakur Stevenson holds the WBO. Um, who else at 26? It ain't Gary Russell, is it? Gary Russell and who holds the other belt? Feel free to put in the chat who's the other belt. But as far as American heavyweights right now, bro, the Americans really don't hold no medal. They don't hold no medal at all, man. Like I'm talking about shit. You can go from the smallest weight class on the way on up, man. It's like for real. Japan, the UK, freaking, I can't leave them out. The Ukrainians, the Ukrainians. What the is it the Ukrainians? The damn on. Where's Triple G from? It ain't. Is it the
Kazakhstan,
Uzbek?
I think.
Kazakhstan, yeah. Kazakhstan got a couple
Boris
guys. I
country.
think, yeah, and I think Uzbekistan too. But those are the countries that's really like running fucking boxing and rolling people over. And these guys, like, these guys, man, they're coming up with heavy fucking amateur backgrounds. I'm talking about 300, 400 plus fights. You got guys
Bro,
like you. Hmm?
guys like who? Go ahead, man.
I was like, you got guys like Israel the Dream. You got guys like Israel the Dream, and then you got guys like MJ Akhmadaliev who have straight extensive amateur backgrounds who straight came into boxing fucking and just in 2020, 2019 and shit like that. Knocked over MJ Akhmadaliev, knocked over Daniel Roman for unified titles. He's got over fucking 20, 26, 27 fucking pro fights. This guy's only had 7 fights, become world champion. Then they try to do the same thing with Israel the Dream because he's got over 350 amateur fucking wins, and he's coming in with fucking 5 fights already, a fucking European title holder, trying to become a world champion before this old COVID stuff stops. So I'm like, man, these kids are coming along fast, man. And I'm just like, yo, the American boxing program or whatever their elite program is for
Shit.
American boxers, it's some shit right now, dude.
It's some
Like,
shit.
you got guys like, of course, Ammo Williams, Otha Jones. You know what I'm saying? Charles Conwell. You got a few young guys coming along But I mean, let's be serious
It
here,
ain't
man.
like back in the day, bro. Back in the
Nah,
day, it was like a fucking movie. They would come out with a squad of motherfuckers, and they'd all be legendary as fuck. Like maybe two or three of them would just be normal fighters. The rest of them are straight up all time greats. Like you go back to the '70s Olympic team. The amateur program in the '70s, '80s, and '90s was real as fuck, and it produced, man. Like it made motherfucking champions, bro, that were ready as soon as they got to be pros. Uh,
right. Like, and the crazy thing about American boxing is, bro, it's like, if when you were American coming up as a kid and stuff like that, the first thing you fucking knew outside of your name was a fucking heavyweight champion, the heavyweight champion, all the way down to, you know what I'm saying, the 135 champion. Like, you knew who the fuck they were in America because one of them was American, one of them had charisma, and one of them motherfuckers you wanted to look up to when you got older. That's what I'm saying. So immediately you had little kids coming out the womb wanting to throw their fists, wanting to look like Marvin Hagler, wanting to look like Sugar Ray Leonard, wanting to, you know what I'm saying, be Pernell
fucking
Whitaker.
action stars, man.
Yeah, like wanting to be the Black Mamba. Like, yo, they were stars. They were on TV. Shit, that's when you had big fights like that. Dude, they used to
Free
put some.
TVs, and
Hell yeah, bro. And then think about it. Boxing was so big, bro, that they put some of the Fab Five fights on. The Fab Four, some of their fights would go on during the fucking week. I think they had one of the Fab Four fights on like a Monday or a Wednesday or some shit like that.
do a
That's how.
double header.
Hell
Fucking
yeah, like
Tommy Hearns knock out some scrub, and then fucking Sugar Ray just beat the fuck out of some contender.
man,
Like,
they just had like that just showed like, boxing was like first. Like when it came to sports, boxing was always first. That was the one people wanted to get dressed for, come out for. That was the thing kids wanted to be when they grew up. Now it's like when you look at the generation now, when you look at the past 10 years and you look at the frickin' you look at the Dr. Steelhammer era, you looked at, Vitaly, the
fucked it
just when
all up.
they were just America had absolutely nothing. We had nobody wanting to come in the game and be somebody. You had nobody, no kids had nobody to look at in the heavyweight division, the light heavyweight division, the cruiserweight division to look up to say, hey, I want to be like that guy, nothing. It was just like boxing was dead for so many years. And now it's like it's finally getting revitalized to a point where people got some guys to look at to. It's like, hey, I want to be like this guy, but if the right things were going on in boxing right now, there should be more stars. There should be more boxing events right now than there ever was, considering technology with social media and everything. Because look at it, really, there are a lot of fucking stars in boxing, man, but they aren't promoted right because they ain't bringing no fucking money in. And you can't bring no real money in if you don't have a supervillain to sell the story to the people, bro. If
Dude,
you got the, go ahead, bro.
I'm sorry, man, but
No, you ain't cut
you,
me off. Go ahead.
I'm gonna hit you, or I'm gonna hit on something you just said. The promotion of boxing is literally 2% of what it used to be. Like this weekend, Showtime boxing. Deontay Wilder knocks out another tomato can. Watch, and then it goes off. Back in the day, they had a full score. They would fucking go to the studio and record their own music for this one commercial, and they would have sound overs. But I'm saying they would build this shit up like it was an action movie or some shit, man. Like, have you ever seen Razor Ruddock versus Lennox Lewis?
Of course.
Dude, they did it on Halloween, and because HBO owned Tales from the Crypt with the Crypt Keeper, the creepy ass skeleton and shit.
They kept putting them up on there. I remember that shit. They
Dude,
had
they
them
did
promoting the shit.
hell yeah, they did the intro, or he did the intro to the fucking pay-per-view and shit. I'm saying they don't do shit like that anymore, man. Even with the way it used to come on, the music, the I miss the old school shit. The 89 to like 94. I mean, it was still epic after that, but that's a golden goddamn era, bro. Everything was
Golden
good to
era,
go.
bro, from fucking 1950 all the way up to I'd say about the late 80s. Fucking golden era fucking boxing, bro. That's when you got the true promotion. That's why I be like, people call fucking Bob Arum an old crazy motherfucker, but look at what Bob Arum's doing right now. I believe he's trying to bring boxing back to TV on Tuesdays and Thursdays and shit. That's old school shit. You know what I mean? But that's the things that have to be done if you want fighters to be popular, if you want boxing to go back to the mainstream and shit like that. Like this, what should be like Bob Arum got the right idea. If I think he's doing what he's going to do. If you're going to take the average fighters and throw them on TV on Tuesday and Thursday and continuously do that, have they fights on Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to blow them up because people don't need to see your shitty fighters on your biggest cards, bro. That shit you should have to enjoy during the week when people are fiending for boxing and not clamoring for it, waiting on a Saturday, and then you get people like that. You know, so if that's what Bob Arum's going to do, oh yeah, he about to shake some shit up. People gonna have to make some changes.
And it would add to the fighters. They gotta keep busy, man. The old classic legends, right? The old school fighters of the 50s and 60s and the 40s and the 30s, even they fought every week, sometimes twice a week. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't get overweight because they had to fight in 4 days. They had to be on weight because the weigh-in was the morning of the fucking fight, and the fight was at 11:45 in the morning. So really, you wait in an hour or two before you fought.
Facts. I wish Mark was here right now to talk on this shit, man, because you know Mark got extensive history on that shit. But that's
Dude,
facts, bro.
old school did not fuck around, and they had lighter gloves. I mean, I'm not even sure that they wrapped hands in the 20s and 30s the way that they held their wrists, like the way Joe Louis would hold his wrists. It was always locked. It was never. They never threw wild punches. That's why position was always key with even like the worst fighters. They couldn't just swing like Mike Tyson or anything like that, crazy overhand or crazy overreaching punches. But yeah, man. What were you just talking about? The
Boxing during the week.
Oh man, bringing that shit back. The frequency of them fighting kept their skills honed to the point where, like, you're never gonna get another Sugar Ray Robinson because that motherfucker fought 3 times a month, every month. Like he might take off a month or two, but he went 111 and they fought Jake LaMotta the very first time, lost the middleweight title. He didn't lose for another 80 fights, 80, 90 fights.
And
Like,
Jake LaMotta was like a true 168 pounders, and Sugar Ray was only like a 147 pounder at the time.
oh, he didn't give a fuck. Dude, you ever seen Rossi Graziano? His got arms like Rocky Marciano and shit, but he's like 160, I guess, middleweight. Dude, Sugar Ray fought some monsters. I hadn't really gotten into his shit, but like he demolished them too. He didn't just fight monsters. He went after them and like eviscerated some great like punishers back in the day, bro. Jake LaMotta was a fucking monster.
He was an animal, dude. He was like, to me, like he's probably like one of the greatest fighters of the pressure, of the pressure style, bro. Heavy fucking hands, steel fucking chin, always coming forward, dude, digging with those fucking uppercuts and them choppy hooks, man. He was a fucking animal.
All night long. He ain't going nowhere. Hit him with the Sunday punch after Sunday punch after Sunday. He don't give a fuck. Just eating them. Like his whole body would wilt under some of those punches in the last Sugar Ray fight, but like his will would bring him right back up. Like his body in the middle of going down, he would stand back up. Like just tremendous fucking will, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, dude, this dude, True 22, is fucking tripping. Dude, how can you sit up there and say the only reason that Dillian White fights on pay-per-view was because of his opposition, bro? Stop it. I mean, don't sit up there and act like freaking Joseph Parker had such a fucking following from New Zealand like that sells the pay-per-view. Get out of here. All his pay-per-views are held in England. They coming to see they coming to see a lone wolf, dude. They are not coming for no fucking Joseph Parker. They coming to see Joseph Parker get knocked out. Now, that's not taking anything away from Joseph Parker's ability or what he's able to do. But the fact that just sitting up here saying that Dillian White is only a pay-per-view attraction because of those other guys, you are fucking smoking sherm, buddy. Because Dillian White self-made himself the star he is. The team self-made himself the pay-per-view attraction he is over in fucking UK. You talking about the Brixton boys. Stop it. These dudes, man, I'm telling you, man, these fanboys, man, and these freaking these troll comments, dude, it's like these dudes don't even watch boxing. It's just like they come in here just to fucking talk out the side of their ass, just hoping they get heard.
That's why I single comment. There ain't shit to back it up. I mean, it's just little stupid little troll comments, man. Fuck that shit.
Pretty much.
Really, you got Usyk, you got Dillian White, and a bunch of old school or now old school people from the Klitschko era. That's what the fuck we're dealing with. Plus Fury, weirdo Wilder, and what AJ could be, right? AJ could be the dude that beat Klitschko. See, my whole thing is this: motivation. A great fighter needs motivation, or else he don't give a fuck. You can say, "Oh, Fury's this, Fury's that." He's not this, he's not that. Because look at the violin, the auto violin. Like auto violin cut his eye, out fucked him up. Had to fight out, barely survived the shit. Not even that good of a fighter, whatever. Fury went into it not really caring that much because the level up is he fights to the level of his opposition.
Correct.
He needs danger. He needs that fear. He needs his senses to be heightened and everything to be a fucking just an over level, bro. He's got to have that danger, or else he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. Like, you still there, Jay?
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, no, you good.
He needs that fucking danger. AJ, if he has the right motivation, can be on Fury's level, right? If he has that level of opposition to rise to the level of his training, because really, he thought Fat Boy wasn't gonna do much, so he went in there with whatever the fuck he went in there with, and apparently maybe compromised. Like in training, he got clipped or whatever the story was. But even the second fight, man, I don't think he was motivated enough to go in there and do much. But like stay away. Like he found an easy way to get out. He could have sat down on his punches and did a little bit more, but I don't know.
I wouldn't say that. I would say, the game plan is I'd say, for what AJ went out there and did that night, AJ did exactly what he was supposed to do, considering the style of the fighter. Now, if you're taking if you've never had to fight a bully pressure fighter that's smaller than you with extremely fast hands as he has, and you're learning to fight on the back foot, fleet of foot, knowing you normally just come forward and just punish whoever, I think that, for what he did that evening and how he did it, it was masterful, because considering nobody thought that AJ had fluid movement and the ability to do that. Now, do I think he could have sat down on his punches a little bit more and probably punished him? Absolutely. I even got points in the fight where I watched it. If you go back and watch it again, you can see AJ really wanting to sit down on that fucking right straight to follow up with that left and really punish him. But he stayed to the game plan when he really wanted to go in. But see, I feel like, sometimes, you got to forego what people's expectations are of what you're going to do all for the loss, man, and basically do, what you set out to do in your training and, execute and go out there and win.
He had to get them belts back. I understand. And he was going to get them belts back because even with the weight, like, he wasn't leaving without, like, becoming AJ again. Did you ever see when the Hasim Rahman rematch, right? Lennox, like, his face wasn't right until he won. And then he's, like, making the fucking face. He's growling and shit, beating his chest. Like, he looked like Lennox once he won. Once he got his belt back, it was him again.
Once he got that shit started paying, you could tell he wanted it bad. Shout out D-Town Blaster. You already know I'm going to keep up that great content. Woo-ha! You already know what it is. Yeah, bro, like, Lennox, you could tell he felt vindicated, once he knocked him on his ass and he got those belts back, man, became undisputed again.
He had to be him. Like, AJ he had to resume his soul like that. He reclaimed that shit.
If AJ would have got it like that, that would have been dope. But my whole thing was I never expected AJ to go in there and get a knockout unless AJ would have been fluent in combinations the whole night and just battering them off the back foot and doing it with accumulation punching and putting them down like that. Because I already knew, I'm like, yo, if you lost to a pressure fighter going inside and giving up your height and stuff like that, it's still going to be in the back of your mind getting clipped on your fucking ear and get your equilibrium knocked off like that. So I'm sure that was a demon haunting him very much that whole evening. So, I'm sure that contributed to the style. Yeah,
he had a lot to overcome. It's not just the fight in the ring, the fight in his head, because that was the worst fight of all. He had to become...
And not to mention the fight in his head, Jay, that automatically increases when you got millions of freaking people. You're the biggest fucking boxer in the world, and all eyes are on you. So not only do you have to fucking perform physically, you know what I mean, you got to keep your, you know what I mean, your head on mentally, and you got to worry about the whispers of what everybody's saying on the outside because people are saying you don't have the ability to bounce back, you don't have the ability to fight the style to fight fleet of foot, stay fast enough to beat Andy Ruiz. He's, you know, he got the fastest hands, blah blah blah. You know how people would just they were just constantly on it. No, everybody wrote him off and didn't give him a chance. Now, I think that when AJ fights Kubrat Pulev, I see him knocking him out in the fourth round, fourth and fifth round knockout clean, putting
That's
him on
true.
his backside and flatlining him. Because Kubrat Pulev has got that statuesque, come forward, simple European style where AJ is going to flourish in it. So now I want to see how AJ takes, AJ takes his new movement and goes in there and fights him because I feel as though AJ going to take that new movement, he's going to take that hand power and everything, and he's going to be evasive and he's going to be powerful and he's going to be aggressive all at the same time, and he's just going to punish him real quick. And I think the more Kubrat Pulev talk, he's just making it worse for himself.
He's talking shit
Well, not necessarily talking
in
shit.
another language.
Not necessarily talking shit, but he just act like he just I don't know. He's just feeling himself a little too much in this position, I believe. And I'm just like, bro, you had how many times have you backed out of this situation? Now all of a sudden you really want it more than anything. Let's look at your last performance, bro. Your last performance was terrible. And you think that you're gonna get in here with Anthony Joshua and you're gonna go out here and you're gonna do him in. Bro, I hate to tell Kubrat Pulev and any other fighter that thinks they're gonna get in there with Anthony Joshua and just knock him over. It's not gonna happen like that, bro. Like I'm a huge boxing head. And I'm I'm very, very picky on boxers that I favor. But this kid, it's a lot of shit that I see that people don't see in Anthony Joshua. And he gets a lot of shit. He gets a lot of shit in the boxing world right now where people just write him off. But mark my word, when I tell people, and this ain't on no fanboy shit or nothing, Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight he's gonna go down as the best heavyweight of this modern class. If him and Tyson Fury fight, I don't believe from what I witnessed from Otto Wallin and just Deontay Wilder, I will never use that as a measuring stick. But just
Oh,
I'm looking at it like AJ has faced the things that Tyson Fury hasn't faced right now. It's going to be a completely different animal.
Maybe, man. There's definitely a high potential for AJ. You know what I mean? Like he's seasoned at this point. All he has to do is go and do it. So
absolutely,
it's not coming down to a matter of skill between him and Fury. It's a matter of heart, will, and determination, and just overall mental fortitude. Mental fortitude. Whose mental castle in their mind is stronger? Whose walls are thicker? Like who can outlast the other? That's all it comes down to, bro.
See, CJ, you think along the lines of the way I think because that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying about this fight. I'm like, bro, honestly,
Once he gets that, he's unstoppable. So Fury might as well go ahead and fight AJ as soon as possible because once he goes into Emmanuel Stewart Lennox Lewis mode, because there are two Lennox Lewises. It's the pre-Emmanuel, and once he got with Emmanuel, he was a goddamn world beater. He would swallow your whole planet. There's nothing you're gonna fucking do about it. He's gonna watch the shit happen.
Absolutely.
Once Anthony Joshua evolves and goes to that Super Saiyan level, like he's gonna be on par with anybody, bro. And Fury's already in that fucking. He's Super Saiyan 3 at this point, just sitting there glowing, just riding Nimbus Cloud around the universe.
That's why I got him number one right now, bro. Because it's like he just won that belt. He just won that ring belt. He just won the heart of America. Like his confidence level is, and in that style too, where
That's
he always fought square.
He has completed his being. He has become like
he is evolved. He's go get him right now.
He's in his final form, bro. Like once Anthony Joshua reaches his final form, we're gonna see a goddamn showdown, and the planet might crack apart.
Bruh, I'm trying to tell you, this shit is the type of shit that sets the world off its fucking
Like
axis, bro.
da 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 da
Hey,
da.
dude, I was sitting there thinking about it, like, bro, I'm like, okay, I was like, the advantage is fair. Like, this is where this fight is so fucking 50-50, and this fight is gonna be so fucking next level. It doesn't even make any sense because I'm like, bro, the mental games are out the window because like you're dealing with two guys whose mentality is like they don't fucking break. You can't try the little games in the press. That shit don't work with them. So really, it just boils down to fucking ability. It boils down to who's gonna dig deep and those times where you're pressured the most and when you really want to break the most, who's going to say, nah, fuck that, I'm willing to die in this bitch and come out victorious? Because I'm telling you, these two individuals ain't going to come in there. They not going to go, it's not going to go the way people going to think they're going to go. One of them motherfuckers going to have to die in that ring. And it's definitely going to be a trilogy. I got a feeling it'll be a trilogy. If it turns into a trilogy, that'll be dope as fuck. But I got a feeling whoever get knocked off, I just think that man, it's just like I'm just like Joshua Fury at an all-time high in confidence, and Joshua has fucking regained. You know what I'm saying? Joshua already knew it was there. He told people like, "Yo, you put me in a machine with Ruiz 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna win that match." And that night, that one time was, you know what I'm saying, on June 1st at Madison Square Garden. But if you look at Anthony Joshua's confidence right now, and now you got the way the world's talking about him, how they saying, oh, he boxed beautifully, you know, Muhammad Ali asked the way he fought off the back foot, et cetera, et cetera. Look at Anthony Joshua now and the way people feel about him. Anthony Joshua feels like he is completely 1,000% the underdog in the story. He has unified titles, and everybody's ignoring the fact that he is a champion. So he is coming in there with something to prove, and Tyson Fury is coming there with something that he wants to prove to end his legacy. Bro, this shit is about to be some world cracking shit, bro.
See, that's the thing people miss. That's the thing people fail to fucking realize or don't really mention that much. Or at least didn't really give a fuck when they were building their little movie, the little bullshit movie about Doodle Face Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, man, dude, they were talking so much shit. I mean, hardest puncher in boxing history, 10 title defenses, he's equal Muhammad Ali in title defenses. No, fuck, he hasn't. There's a difference. He was undisputed, meaning he beat every motherfucking contender and beat the reigning champs. He beat the man. He beat multiple the man to become the undisputed fucking champ, the overall fucking man. Like those 10 defenses. Come on, man. They were all what against unranked people. There was some video on the fucking like this video is coming out debunking his resume, like some bullshit video of him driving around talking shit on Mike Tyson in the past greats resurfaced, and now everybody's making response videos to it and shit. Like, let's look at this asshole's resume and see who's really on it. Some of these people were ranked 394th, 438th, not ranked, not ranked, not ranked, not ranked, not ranked, not ranked. What the
Shout
fuck?
out Tyrese. Shout out Tyrese on the super chat, bro. I got you. We definitely need to get Leon Muhammad on the show. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to my Twitter. I'm gonna reach out to some of my people, and I'm gonna work out a way that we can get that worked out. If we want Leon Muhammad on the show, that's something I'll definitely, reach out on doing.
You can talk to old man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Oh,
I'm gonna see about talking to old man for y'all, man. So if I can get the OG, if I can do an interview with the OG, man, like I said, I'm definitely gonna get on Twitter tomorrow. Reach out to whoever I need to reach out to about getting the OG on the show. We're gonna get that shit worked out ASAP because he a legend over here on the Two Hands Up show, man. And I know all the people want to see him, man. So we definitely need to get him on.
boy took his hot.
He took his heart.
Boy, you got your ass whooped.
Boy, you got your ass whooped. That's the bottom line. You can talk about the gloves. You can talk about this. But you got your ass whooped.
Oh my God.
He said, I told y'all. He said, I told y'all he wasn't nothing but a bum from Alabama. And you can take your ass back to Alabama, burst an alligator in the street.
My people, my people.
My people, my people, my people. Oh man, yeah, bro, like for real. I'm kind of sad that the Wilder Fury, the Wilder Fury series got Wilder Fury 2 series got to end. But think about it like this, guys. We got one more Wilder Fury match to go. So I get to chop them up all over again for y'all, man. We get to revisit that again. But look, man, this is what we're going to do. I know it's late somewhere in other parts of the world. It's starting to get late where I'm at, too. So we're going to shut this thing down, and we're going to continue tomorrow on the morning show around like, I'd say 10 o'clock. So, yeah, man. Jay, man, I'm glad you came through, man. Got you on here, bro. You more than welcome to slide through anytime. You always got a spot on the show, man. Appreciate having you.
Hell yeah, thank you,
and
man.
once again, hey, man, anytime, man. You a cool ass dude.
You too, man.
Salute to the chat, man. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Respect to everybody. Y'all have a good night, man. Stay safe, man. And we gonna be back at this shit tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Respect, though. Let's get it.